Welcome to the Personal Trainer Hustle. Personal Trainer Hustle. If you didn't know, you do now.
All right, we're getting groove back. We're getting the groove back. Welcome back to the Personal Trainer Hustle, everyone. As you may or may not know, I am Sam Lopez, host of Personal Trainer Hustle and the owner of Logic Fitness, a personal training studio here in California. I emailed with a couple of you this week, so now I have to remind everyone that I'm in California because every person that I've talked to so far is not in California, funny enough. So if any of you guys are in California or even LA, send in a question, shoot me a message. I would just love to know how many people listening are actually in California. But yeah, so far everyone is out of state. So that's awesome. I'm glad that we all get to connect via the magic of the internet. So that's really amazing, and I'm glad everybody is listening and applying things, you know, wherever you're at, whatever your situation is, however far along you are in your career. Oh, actually, no. Shout out to Megan. I got to email you back, but I know you're in San Diego from what I saw. So I'm wrong. There is a fellow Californian that I've connected with. So, but yeah, shout out to everyone. Just wanted to say thanks for everybody listening and everyone that has sent in their questions, and the few that I've talked to this week that are going to be coming on and possibly being on the pod. So I'm looking forward to that. Today's episode is inspired. I'm going to give one more shout out, and that is to Matt. So Matt, if you're listening, I did get your message. That was me replying back and saying thank you for your kind words. So this week, I apologize. I don't know when you sent it, Matt, because I don't look at our social media very much. The team that you see on there is usually running it. Usually it's Sean. And Sean, you guys don't see a lot either because he is kind of behind the scenes. But everyone that you see on there is the crew that is there. I am not normally there. And also I am not normally on the media. So I know Megan we talked to because you followed and I we emailed. I got to get back to you. But yeah, so you guys listening, you're not going to see me very much on there. Every once in a while, I try to do a little tip or something, but that is us, and so that is me. And shout out to Matt because he just sent in a message more than anything. You know, it wasn't a question; it was just he was just saying, that he was grateful for the pod and that he started working as a personal trainer recently at LA Fitness. And just talking about how much the podcast has helped him out. So, Matt, you sent a message, and now you inspired an episode. So how about that? So as I was thinking about what we can talk about today, we've talked about so many things. So lately I've been trying to look for some inspiration here. I'm like, what do we talk about that's not too business advanced, And I thought about, inspired by your message, I thought about, what if I was starting over? What if I was starting over and I too was going to start my personal training career right now? For those of you guys that don't know, I've been a personal trainer for more than 10 years now. I've been in business for myself about 10 years of that time. So that's how long I've been in personal training, specifically in the fitness world and industry. And this podcast is simply, a passion project that has come from something that I've noticed that is missing in personal training, in personal training careers. I haven't said this in a long time, but since we're here, this podcast comes about because most things out there about fitness and personal training and being a coach, they all revolve around the fitness aspect of things, right? Constantly talking about squats, constantly talking about overload and progressions and regressions and things like that. And I'm very passionate about that. I'm actually going to start recording some things with Crystal on the weekend. Her you will see on the Instagram. But we're going to record some stuff that is more leaning towards like what to do, progressions, regressions, and programming and things like that when it comes to the fitness stuff. I will update you guys more once that project is actually up and running. But I don't normally want to talk about that side of things with this podcast. This show is to talk about the other stuff, the stuff that you guys need to know, need to learn, need to add to your personal training career that simply people aren't talking about. And I think the reason why is because it is a whole nother, it's a whole nother lesson that you have to learn. It's a whole nother expertise that you have to begin to develop. And it's just a hell of a lot easier when you guys are new to talk about the thing that you're excited about right now, right? Right now it's about changing people's lives. Right now it's about getting a job. Right now it's about squats. Right now it's about body fat percentage. Right now it's about protein intake, macros. And that's very important. And that usually sells in the fitness industry. Either that or you guys are following fitness influencers that look amazing or make up the coolest workouts, but you may not be realizing the importance of business, sales, and career building in your personal training brand as well as you're going to begin to build your business. Because at the end of the day, and this is something that a lot of us don't understand when we start, is you're going to have to start to build your client base. And so no matter where you start, whether you work at LA Fitness, at Gold's, at a Bally's like I did, whatever gym you work at, there is going to be a level of building up your client base. That is something that you cannot escape. And so that's why this podcast is important, because how do we do that part better, right? How do I get enough clients to be a personal trainer? How do I get enough clients to not have to quit? Right? So that is a different skill sets. And so, for those of you guys that just tuned in, we have now over 100 episodes now of talking about just all the other things that come with building a career in personal training. So all that to say, I've been doing it for a long time. This is something that, more than anything, my personal trainers in my gym inspired me to do. From the talks that I have with them, from the lessons that I've taught them, it's something that I heard back a lot from all the trainers that have worked for me at Logic. And that is, Sam, you should do something with this information, right? You should share it. You should start a podcast, or you should start a channel or something, because wherever I worked before, I wasn't getting that. And so all of that kind of inspired me, and even getting messages like the one that Matt sent in. Again, it's a reminder that this is the message that we're trying to spread here. But anyway, that's just a little history on the pod for those of you guys that are new. I've been a personal trainer for a long time, and I've built my business within a company and outside of a company when I started my own company. And so that's where I'm coming from. I'm saying that all of that is to preface today's episode. Again, I thought, if I was starting over right now, right? If I just got my certification, what would I do? And so I came up with 10 things, 10 ideas that I want to share with you in case you are new to personal training, in case you are just getting your certification, or you're just within your first few months at a gym. These are some of the things that I did and some of the things that I would do now based on the things that I've learned over the years. I got 10 things that I want to share, inspired by this idea of, hey, what would I do, right? So I hope that you guys can steal some of these ideas, implement some of these ideas if you haven't already. But like I said, some of these I already did, so I know that they worked because I did them when I was still a trainer at Bally Total Fitness back in about 2010. So I know they worked then. And then there are some new ones that I might do because of things that I've learned now from the years that I've had my own business, my own clientele, and even trainers that are now, like I said earlier, running Logic without me. So That's where this is coming from. This isn't, rocket science here that I'm sharing with you. These are just ideas that are practical, right? Practical to where you are and practical to the reality of starting, practical to the tools that you're going to have available to you when you start, right? One of the things that I don't like when I see in this fitness industry, in this fitness world, right? I see advertisements for personal trainers or business people or salespeople. They're trying to sell you guys on these $1,000 packages on how to build your client base, right? $2,000 and I'll get you 30 clients. And whatever, I'm not here to throw shade on any business, whatever, if you guys want to buy it, that's fine. But the problem that I find is when you're a new trainer, you don't usually have that type of money. So you're caught in a catch-22. I would love to have $2,000 to learn how to get clients. I would love to have $2,000 to buy your course. I would love to have $20,000 to buy into a franchise, but I'm new. I'm just starting. What am I supposed to do, right? So when I share ideas with you guys, I always try to keep that part in mind. How do you function when you have no clients, one client, 10 clients, when you're transitioning from one job to another? It's not as easy as just telling someone, buy this $1,000, $2,000 course, right? So again, there are so many things that you can do, but the ones I'm going to share with you are practical things that you can do, okay? And that's where I'm coming from with these ideas, is really trying to put myself in the situation and not pretend like I can just, do these purchases or buy these hacks, because that's not the reality when you're in that situation. And if I'm being honest, usually those hacks aren't going to work long term, because at the end of the day, what you need is knowledge. You need information. You don't want a hack, right? It's okay to purchase things as long as they're teaching you how. You don't want to buy things that do it for you or that claim to create these like magical scenarios, because that's not how life works. Life is doing the work, learning the information, applying it, making your own mistakes. That's how things really work in the real world. So anyway, that's besides the point. If I was starting over, the first thing I would do is I would actually just try to get a job as fast as possible. Okay, that would be my number one thing. I would not try to start my own business if I was just starting off. And the reason for that is because when you start your own business, if you don't know how it works, and if you're brand new and you're still figuring out how to train, you're still figuring out how to like market yourself, what happens is you're taking on too big of a risk. The risk is too big that you're going to fail if you're jumping right into building a client base, building a brand, building a business, building a marketing structure. It's a little too big, and you end up being, and this is a big mistake that a lot of trainers make when you guys become personal trainers, especially if you're in a city like Los Angeles, like we are out here. The problem with jumping out and just being a personal trainer is, and having your private practice, it's good if you're good at it. You can build your client base. You can do well right off the bat. But for most of us, what's going to happen is you're going to be a small fish in a big pond. There are a lot of other personal trainers that are already branded. They've already built up the clients. You have people like me that already built a fitness studio. So you're competing. You're becoming a small fish in a giant pond. The entire city. Now you're competing with all the trainers in all of the city, and you're new. You don't have that reputation, and so it becomes a little bit difficult to figure out how to overcome that and also become a personal trainer because you just got certified. So if I was starting over, I would do what I actually ended up doing when I first got certified. I would think about getting a job at a gym, and now the pond is not the entire city, the entire state, the entire country. My pond now is the 4 walls that I work in. Now I can be a bigger fish. So if you can have a job at a gym, you're not so small. You're a bigger fish in a smaller pond instead of working the other way around. So that would be the first thing I would do. Get my foot in the door somewhere that gives me the chance to work for them. because now I can begin to work with people. Now I can begin to talk to people. Now I have a mentor on my side, right? Hopefully you have a good manager or a good director, a good salesperson. Maybe you can, meet another trainer that can mentor you a little bit, that's been there longer. So you put yourself in a place where you're going to begin to give yourself a chance to figure these things out. Obviously at the expense of, I want to have a client that's 100% my own. Sure, but the risk reward is a little too high in the beginning. The safer bet is to, work at the gym, understand that they are in charge of the equipment, the lights being on, the uniforms, the systems, they're getting you clients, right? So in a way, it's very beneficial because they're doing so much for you that you don't have to do when you're just starting off. Like I said, it's hard enough to build up your client base in a gym. It's even harder outside of the gym. And so, you instead of seeing working at a gym as something you want to skip over, you should see it as an incredible, beneficial opportunity. That's how I feel about my first job. Back when I started training, my first job, my manager at the time, JMO, he finally gave me an opportunity after a lot of other gyms didn't. And I will forever be grateful that he did, that somebody did. Somebody gave me the opportunity to begin, right? And I remember a lot of the other trainers that had gotten hired on or that already worked there before, they would shit on the gym, they would shit on the leadership, but I always, not all the time, right? I kind of was like in between, but I always was grateful for the opportunity. I was grateful for the gym. I thought the gym was awesome. I was excited to be new. I was excited to build my clients. I was excited for this career. I didn't see it as a negative thing. I saw it as a positive thing. And I'm forever grateful because I learned so many lessons from my managers, from my coworkers, from my clients that I was able to get. All of that taught me the tools that continue to help me to ascend in my career, So I'm glad I didn't skip over that. And if I was starting over today, I would say getting a job at a gym is an amazing opportunity. Especially if you can be involved in the sales process to a certain degree. I understand some gyms have different departments. I think LA Fitness is one of those gyms where they have a department that does the sales and a department that does the training. But you can always talk to your management. You can always meet people, even if you just get good at bringing leads from the floor to the salesperson. The whole point is that you have to put yourself out there and you have to look to develop the skills of training and of getting clients and being involved. So we'll get into that a little bit more as we go. But number one is get your foot in the door somewhere that's established, somewhere that has produced other trainers' success. You want to get in the door. And one thing, man, since I'm on this is something that I always tell my staff. One of the big differentiators in getting a job at a gym, you guys, not all the time, because sometimes you're just not good enough to get a job somewhere. I've been there, right? But if somebody gives you the opportunity to interview, let them know that you want the job. Especially if you're starting off. I think humility is what most people are missing. And I will say that the staff that I have, I always choose the people that are humble enough to show me that they want the job. Because what you guys don't realize is there are a lot of other people applying for this job, right? There are a lot of people that want this job. So something as simple as telling someone that you hope to have the opportunity to work at the company, that you would love the opportunity, something like that may put you over the edge. I know it's worked for me. There are people that I've interviewed that I like them, but the differentiating factor is I think that they don't really care about this company. I don't think that they see this as an opportunity. I think they're just looking for any old job. I think that they are more excited to work at another gym than they are here. I think they look like the type of person that's already ready to quit before they've even started, right? So something so simple, you guys, for those of you guys just starting off or you may be looking for a job at a gym, something that I've learned from the other side, from doing the interviews now, is simply after you're done in an interview, what might help you, as long as you're honest about this and you really do want the opportunity and you're going to take advantage of the opportunity and you understand that it's not easy to get a job at a gym, if you just let them know before you leave, you shake their hand and you say, thank you for your time. I appreciate you calling me in today. I'm looking for an opportunity. If you give me an opportunity, I would be very grateful for that. I really do like this gym, or I really would like the opportunity to work here. Something along those lines, you guys, might be the difference between you finally getting the call back and or just continuing to get these first interviews without actually getting the job. So for anybody that's in that situation, sometimes that's all the person wants to hear before you leave, is that you're the one that wants the opportunity. Because you got to realize there's a limited amount of spots. Especially like a studio like mine, it's a small private boutique studio. There's not a lot of spots. You have to want your spot. If you don't want it, someone else wants it, right? And that's how we function at my studio. And the gyms that you guys are applying to, they're not going to be much different, right? Whether the staff is 10 or 20, there's still only 20 spots. There's still only 10 spots. So they want somebody who wants it. Now, the bigger and more corporate the gym, the little bit less that matters. A lot of gyms just hire whoever because they don't care if you quit. They don't care if you train your clients to results, right? A lot of gyms are like that. They don't care what happens because they just want you to train the people that they're selling. But even in that environment, you can take advantage of it if they gave you the opportunity. All right? So, number 1, get a job. Just get a job. Number 2, create a schedule that allows you to invest as much time as possible in the gym for your first 3 months. Give it everything you've got for the first 3 months. And hopefully you can extend that to 6 months. Give yourself a target. Say, hey, I'm going to be at the gym 10 hours a day and 5 hours every Saturday. Whatever your schedule is, as long as it works, as long as it's pushing you to be there as much as possible, give yourself that schedule and say, I'm going to do this until I get my first 5 clients or until I get 10 clients, whatever that target is that you need. Commit to front loading that. Commit to giving it everything you've got until you have a certain amount of clients where now you are investing more time in training them. Now you're going to have more referrals. Now you've gotten more leads. Now you know how to sell the leads. Now you know how to convert the leads. Now you know how to talk to people on the floor and prospect. So after that initial push where you're investing all this time, only then can you maybe pull back a little bit. Now you have to be careful. I don't want to say pull back. I have to say pull back because you can't go 100 miles an hour forever. But the reality is if you do pull back too soon or if you pull back too much, you're going to begin to lose clients and it's going to be very hard to get the momentum back, right? I've heard this from a lot of wealthy entrepreneurs. I've heard this from a lot of people that are 10 times ahead of where I'm at in my career, and they all say never lose momentum. It's one of the most dangerous things that can happen is to lose your momentum. So you want to make sure that you're always committing as much time as possible to the building of your client base, especially in the beginning. Once you have clients, obviously now it's about results, it's about referrals, it's about renewing them, right? So it's a little bit different game. It's going to develop as you go along. But you can't pretend like you're busy already when you're not. And I see that a lot with new trainers, right? Coming in for 2 hours, leaving for 5 hours, taking a lunch break. Out here, we would go to the beach, come back, then go get lunch, come back, set up a date after work. We're going to go get some drinks, whatever, right? And so it becomes a social club. That's one of the biggest, most dangerous things that happens in gym culture is that it becomes a social club. It becomes a dating club. It becomes, a drinking club. It becomes this whole, and, I'm not mad at you guys. I was young. I worked at a big gym. You meet a lot of people. People ask you to go out to the bar, out to eat, come to their party, their birthday. So it's social, but you have to be committed to getting those first 10 clients. I always say 10, it can be 15, it can be 20, it can be 5. It depends where you work and how much money you need to make. But the point is commit a lot of time in the beginning to be there as much as possible. It's going to let your manager know you're serious. It's going to let your coworkers know you're serious. It's going to let the members know you're serious, right? Because the members know when you're new and you're lazy, the members know you'll be fired or you'll quit within the next 2 to 3 months. That's what always happens. You already know. Anybody that works at a gym knows this. The moment you see somebody not spending all day at the gym, you know that their days are numbered. That's another side of gym culture, right? Managers, when I was there for a year, when I was a manager, even when I go and work out at a gym, you can always tell. You have a feeling for it. But one of the signs is always the people that leave all day. Or in the past, right, I would want to hire somebody like, yeah, well, I can only come in from like 5 to 7 in the morning. And I always thought that's like a death sentence to your career. It's just not going to work. Like, you are trying to adjust it to work to you, and that's not the reality. Just like anything in life, you can't just bend the rules and say, but that won't happen to me. Right? Let's say you're going to jump off the roof of the house and you're going to go, yeah, I think I won't get hurt though. Bro, everyone gets hurt jumping. Like, it's just the way it is, right? So it's the same thing. We're like, well, I think I can get away with coming in for 3 hours every other day. I think I can get away with leaving before prime time. Again, I know what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen. That is a recipe for failure when you work at a gym. So, again, number 2, you need to commit as much time as possible to be in the gym. And again, it's not just hanging out. And I've talked about this in previous episodes. You have to use all this time to be meeting people, to be talking to people. One of the things that I always do, again, I'm just going to give you a piece of advice here. The easiest way to prospect for me is always to look for people that are confused about how to adjust a machine. Okay, I'm just giving you that advice because that's what I would do. If I was starting over, I would spend all day at the gym, meeting people, saying hi to people, maybe taking on meeting people that just got a membership. That's a huge one, right? One of the things, okay, so I'll stake on this topic a little bit longer. One of the benefits of being at the gym all day is that you're going to be there when somebody gets a new membership. Okay, here's the problem that people that leave don't understand. You don't know when that person's going to walk in because you don't know who's coming. So maybe you don't want to be at the gym at 11 a.m. You don't want to be at the gym at 3 p.m. Pick a time that you don't want to be at the gym. Okay, now imagine that's when 3 people came in and got a membership. Right? So that's why I always talk about front loading all of these hours, right? Don't worry about how much you're making. Front load the hours because you want to get to a place where you're somewhat successful as fast as possible to buy you more time to get another few clients. And those buy you more time to get another few clients. And that buys you more time to get higher paying clients, right? So what you want is to get some clients under your belt. And the best way to do that is to be there as much as possible because you don't know if at 8 a.m. 2 people are going to come in and get a membership. And then after that, maybe the next set of people is at 1. And then in the evening, you're going to have another 2 people that come in, right? So your gym might be getting 5, 6, 10 new people every day, but you're only there when the 12 o'clock came in. And that person already has a trainer, so it wasn't even worth it. So because you don't know, I hope you understand this, because you don't know when that lead is going to come in, because you don't know when your chance is going to be, the only way to be successful in the beginning is to give yourself as many chances to swing. So if you're there all day, you're going to be there when somebody signs up for a membership. Now, you have to talk to your manager. You have to be there. You have to spot that, right? When I go to my local gym, when somebody new comes in, they like ring a doorbell because they don't have a membership, and I always go, boom, that's a sign. That would be my opportunity to go. Right? Boom. And when I hear it again, I'm working out. I'm like, oh, there's a new person. That's another opportunity to get a client right there. Right? I'm just counting it in my mind every time. I'm like, dude, almost every time I'm there, somebody new comes in for a membership. Right? Obviously, I don't work there, so I leave it alone. It's not my responsibility. But I'm like the trainer. If a trainer was there, you go talk to them. Or you set it up with your manager where once you get the membership, then you get the trainer, and the trainer comes in. That would be you. And then you schedule their first workout. Or, I'm a big believer that sometimes what you want to do is give people 2 or 3 because then they feel like I'm not just trying to give them something free to sell them. And also you give yourself a bigger opportunity for them to really like it and get used to it. But that's just my personal opinion. But if you're there all day, you give yourself the opportunity to meet new members that just got a gym membership, so you can take them through a consultation, a workout, whatever. You can talk to them about their diet, about their fitness, about their injuries. You can jump right in because they're new. But at the same time, you're also there looking for people that may need help on the floor. So you have to make use of your time. I would be at the gym all day meeting people at the door, and I would be there all day helping people with equipment. That's it. Right? Even if I don't know what to do next, if I do that, somebody's going to ask me for advice. Somebody's going to ask me for personal training, right? Obviously, my advice is to learn from this show and from other resources that are out there. You have to learn how to carry that conversation so you sell them personal training, right? Because if not, you're just going to be the person that shows them the gym and shows them equipment, but you never convert it, right? So you have to understand. I'm just saying this assuming that you understand. You have to offer them your services. That's the whole point of spending all day at the gym. I don't want you guys to be there at the gym for hours just helping people and just greeting people. And then by the end of the day, you say, okay, yeah, I said hi to 20 people. And if I asked you, well, how many people did you ask if they wanted to try a training session with you? And you said none. Well, now we have a problem, right? So the whole point of meeting people is for you to have the opportunity to offer them a training session, offer them some free advice and get their phone number, offer them a week of training or, nutrition, consultation or whatever it is. The whole point is they're talking to you, offer them something. Some of them are going to take you up on the offer if you're there meeting people all day. So number 2, I would put aside as much time as possible as I possibly could that's feasible in order to front load my time at the gym that I just got my job at. Number 3, this is very important. This is something that I'm grateful that happened to me. You should find a partner. You should find a running mate in the gym. Make friends with a trainer if you can, right? You might not be able to. Maybe there's no trainers when you go there. But one of the most important pieces of advice that my manager gave me was to stop hanging out with losers in the gym and hang out with trainers that had clients. And I've told that story before, so I'm not going to get into it. But the point is, you guys have to find another trainer. Maybe somebody's new. Maybe you got hired and then somebody else got hired. Maybe there's a trainer there that's already been there for a few months. But what you're looking for, if you can, and if not, maybe it's just you and your manager. But find someone that wants to get clients, that wants to sell training, that wants to grow their career, that wants to help the members of the gym, right? Somebody that wants to help people work out more, that wants to help people on how to use the machines and keep themselves from getting hurt, right? Find someone who's also passionate about growing, about helping, about selling, about, somebody that's in it where they're trying to put their best foot forward, right? For me, I'm grateful that I found that in some of the trainers, not just one. And to this day, some of them are good friends of mine. But the thing we had in common is that we wanted to be popular trainers. We wanted to be successful trainers. We wanted to be known trainers. We wanted to be trainers that were known for being popular, for being good salespeople, for being busy, for making more money, for having more opportunities, right? Being part of the trainers that got promoted to management roles, right? We were proud of that. We were proud that like 3 out of our 4 friends all got promotions, because you're thinking alike and you're helping each other and you're holding yourself accountable to each other. So one of the things that I would look for if I got my first job at a gym, if I was starting over, is see if there's anybody in that gym where even if we're not best friends, even if we don't get along with everything, but we have a similar mission every day, right? We're trying to get clients, right? Hey, John, right? How many clients you got? Oh, I got 3. Are you trying to get more clients? How many clients are you trying to get? Oh, I'm trying to get to 10. You? Man, I need to get to 10 too. Oh, you know what, man? Let's try to get to 10. Where are you at? I have 1. All right, cool. Then how long are you going to be here? Oh, I was going to leave at noon. You want to stick around? We can work the floor, let's see who talks to somebody first, right? You can gamify it. We used to do that too, right? Sometimes we would gamify it and see who could get a sale by the end of the day, who could get a lead faster. I remember my manager, and I hated that the first time I did it, but after a while, I would just do it on my own. But we would play games, let's see who gets a phone number the fastest, right? And now everything changes because there's like a competitiveness to it. So you can gamify it a little bit. It doesn't have to be competition, but you can have at least some friendly motivation, some support, somebody that's on your team, somebody that's there that has a similar mission and vision for their life as you do. That can be a very, very helpful, important thing. If you can't, then maybe you can put that forth and see if somebody else comes and looks for you. But worst case, you always have your manager. Your manager wants the gym to do well. So whoever's in charge, they want you to do well because it helps them do well, which helps the gym do well, and everybody wins. So worst case scenario, you get in touch with your manager and you start putting like, okay, today I'm going to go and do this. I'm at 3. I just want 2 more. They can give you some feedback. They can give you some tips maybe. They can help you out. If they know that you're trying to get to 5, when somebody new comes in, you're going to be top of mind, right? One of the most important lessons that I learned from my manager was, and I may have told this before, but if I haven't, here we go. I remember people would complain about not getting leads, right? They're like, oh, we don't get like first workouts. And one day I was sitting in the office and my manager got, I believe 4. He got 4 slips from downstairs, 4 people that had just signed up that morning. He grabbed the 4 and he turned around. He gave me 2 without asking. He just said, Sam, and he just extended his hand. He gave me 2. And then he turned a little bit further, looked outside the window. Mikey was standing outside the window by a stretch table. So he knocked on the office window. Mikey looked up. He called him in. Mikey comes in and he gives him the other 2. And that's all that happened. That's all that happened. And then he turns back in and I'm looking at the leads and he just laughs and he looks at me and he goes, out of sight, out of mind. He said, I don't have time to be looking for you guys, dude. You're here. He's here. That's it. And so, again, I share that with you to let you know the importance of being present, right? All the other trainers thought that he was hand-picking who his favorites were. But the reality was, it's not that serious, man. He was like, I'm busy on this report that I have to turn in. You're here, he's here, done. I can move on, right? So that's the importance of being present. That's the importance, right? I was in the office with who I needed to be with. I was surrounding myself with important people. Mikey was there because he was one of the friends that I made that was busy and I was looking up to. And I was in the office with the manager because I was learning from them because, hey, I was spending all day at the gym. So, of course, I was there and I got I got to get a benefit from it, from just being present and from being around people that wanted to grow, that wanted to do well. Just like the example I gave a little bit earlier about hiring, sometimes the thing that puts you over is just being the one that says you want the job. Right? That might be all you're missing. So these are little things I need you guys to think about because we always want to make everything more complicated. But the reality is getting a job sometimes is as simple as telling someone you want the job, and getting a lead is as simple as sitting in the office next to the manager when he gets a lead. It might be that simple, right? But we want it to be overcomplicated sometimes, and it just isn't. So number 3, right? Find people that are going in the same direction. Number 4, I would try to create some type of social page, some type of channel that put myself and the gym as the main characters. Okay, so this is a test in loyalty, and it's going to help everyone. Okay, so one of the things that I would want to do is not create my own social media page, my own YouTube channel, my own Instagram, my own TikTok, whatever it is that is going to be the relevant thing of the time. What I would do is I would talk to my manager and say, whether, if you have that type of relationship, I would say, hey, I want to do a channel, but I want to make sure that I'm putting the phone number of the gym as the phone number, or I'm making sure that it has both, right? So it would be like sam.lafitness, at whatever the IG, let's say. So let's just use Instagram, right? So I would say Sam trains LA Fitness, or LA Fitness Sam Lopez, or something like that, where I might put them together if I can. I don't have to. Maybe I just do a fitness page for me, but then I put the gym that I work out as like the location where I train or something like that. So I would just do this thing where I could still have some level of like marketing for myself, some level of connection with clients. Maybe people from the gym begin to follow me, right? Like even if they don't train with me, I start to build some type of popularity at the gym. But it works because I'm making sure that I'm still involving the gym somehow. This is the difference, right? Because I know you guys all have social media pages, YouTube channels. What I'm saying is show the gym that you have some loyalty to the gym, right? When your manager finds out you have a page, when they see they're going to see, wow, well, you're really trying to help us all out. And so they're going to try to help you back. Because at the end of the day, remember, if they do you wrong, you can always shift that page to your own thing, right? So that's not going to happen, though, because there's going to be a level of loyalty towards each other. So I would say that. And the next thing I would say about having some type of channel that represents the gym is that you also, I would say that, you want to have advice, you want to have how-to tips. And in the future, you guys are going to see in the next few steps why I would do that. But I would immediately, if I was starting over today, because I've thought about this a lot when I'm working out, I would think about having how to use machines, how to use the weights, like showing the gym maybe when it's not that busy, since you're committing all this time, since you have a running mate now, right? Maybe you have somebody that also wants to grow. So you can help each other record how to use machines, how to adjust the seat, all the exercises that you can do, maybe things that you want to make sure you watch out for. And then maybe always invite, again, this is a little more advanced, but if I was starting over, I would have a call to action at the end of every video, whatever channel you choose to use. But it would say, hey, if you want to work with me here at this gym, reach out to me and I would be happy to help you, whatever. Use this code or tell me that you saw this video and you'll get 50% off, your first 5 sessions, or you'll get 3 free sessions free. You can play with it however, but you can invite people from these videos that shows them how to use the equipment in their own gym. Right? Because I feel like that's something that I feel like is missing, that is an avenue that I would use. I'm just giving you guys my playbook, you guys. But sometimes when I'm working out at the gym, I'm like, oh man, if they had like somewhere where I can see how to use all of these machines, that would be interesting. I would use that, not for myself, but more like as a marketing thing. I'm like, oh, I would click on it just to see what they're doing and to see the personalities of the trainers, how they sound, how they talk, how they think, how good they really are at training, what kind of advice, how they think about it, right? I would still watch it, right? I would still watch it. So having a social media or YouTube specifically to the gym, I think would be something pretty awesome, or some type of subcategory where it's you representing the gym that you work out, if that's possible. If that's possible, that would be good. And in a bit, I might show you guys how to get back to this exact point. I would even say maybe, I'm just checking to make sure I didn't write this down. Yeah, I would even say maybe a website. If you can get away with it, you can create a free website where it has a landing page where people can also go on there and maybe book. This is more advanced, but whatever. That's what I would do. I would use my experience in building websites for my businesses and my business, and I would figure out how to get people to go over there, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But anyway, you want landing pages. You want people to be pulled into what you're doing. That's mostly what the social media and YouTube or a website or anything where you can share more information. Because the beauty of these things is people can watch them and get to know you and get inspired to try it, even when you're not there. That's why the website and the socials and all that are important, at least for me, is I see them as an avenue to get somebody to possibly set up a consultation, even if maybe I missed them, right? Maybe they go to the page, they see it, they see the tips, they're like, okay, that's how you use this machine. They get something out of it, and they might then go, you know what, I should just ask them to train me for a couple. And now I'm getting a lead without prospecting that lead. That's the reason why this would be something I would try to put together. It's an extra avenue long term to get people to contact me for training even when I'm not there. But let's move on. Number 5, I would do my own business cards, I call them appointment cards more than anything. So I do a 2-in-1, and this is actually something that I learned. I just kind of came up with it. I think I was reading the Little Red Book of Sales by Jeffrey Gitomer, and something sparked this idea in my mind. I don't know what it was, but I decided that to stand out at the gym, I was going to, instead of getting the general business cards, because the gym that I worked at, what had happened was they were asking us all how many business cards we wanted to order, and the company would order the business cards for us, and they would order standard. So the only difference was, you could put your picture on it, and they would just put the name. So really, all it was a bunch of business cards that were exactly the same. They all had the same phone number of the business, the same logo. They were all white. The only difference between all of the trainers' cards was the name. And I think some of them, if they got a picture on it, it would be a picture. But other than that, they were standard. So I remember taking that moment, and they were asking me if I wanted them, and I was like, can I get my own business cards? And I remember my manager, he gave me a little talk, and he was like, well, there's pros and cons. Obviously this is, you're going to be competing with the company if you have your own business cards, and we don't want you taken away, and like the company's going to look at it as you're taking business from the company using. And so we talked about it, and he was like, but if you use the company logo and the company phone number, then you might be able to get away with it. I might be able to kind of like support it and defend you should they ask, right? So that was the beauty, again, of having the proper running mates, meeting the proper people, befriending the right people, right? So he worked with me, and I compromised, and I said, okay. I said, yeah, I'll put a Bally's logo on it, and we'll put the address for here and the phone number. I was like, maybe I'll add my cell phone, but we'll put the phone number for the gym. So I don't know how we did it, but the point is, as long as I was loyal to the gym, he gave me permission to try it, and he just covered his ass too. He was like, should they ask, I'll be able to at least have a reasonable reason, right? And so we went for it, and so I put the Bally's logo on it. I put their address on it, but now that I can customize it, I could make it stand out. So theirs were all standard white. Mine was all black on one side and all red on the other side. And so now it had the logos of the company, but it was my own design, which I thought was more creative. I thought stood out more. Instead of having a plain white one, I had a double colored one. And what I changed about it, this is just, if you guys want to copy what I did, if you get permission, what I did is I turned it into an appointment card. Now, you could make an appointment on your phone. That's no problem. But I liked having a card because I got to do this one thing. Again, this is just one of my first marketing ideas, right? I've had many ever since, but this was one of the first marketing ideas, and I'm sharing it with you. What I did is I made one side like a business card where it had my name and the information, the address, right, the parts that I needed. And then on the other side, it had a motivational quote about changing your life, which none of the other business cards had. And so I turned it into an appointment card. So it would say my name, and then there was a space that said, your appointment is, and then it had a space. And then on the other side, or maybe the same side, I don't remember how it was outlined, but it had a motivational quote. And so what I thought was, when they go and look to remember when their appointment is with me, there will also be something to incentivize them and remind them why they want to move forward. So it would say something, I don't know. I don't even remember. I think I have some put away. But I had 3 different versions, and they were quotes about how like fitness would change your life, about dreaming big, about it's time. I think one just said like it's time, or it's time to change your life, or something like that. And then it had the date that and time that we had set up to meet for a consultation. And what happened when I started doing that was that more people would show up to their appointment. Because what was happening before that is I would tell people, yeah, I'll see you Monday at 5, and then they wouldn't show up. But when I would give them the card, they showed up more. And I noticed that like it was working, that it was preparing them. And another reason why I did it too is I was like, by the time they come in, they're ready to purchase training because they've looked at the card, they've settled on the benefits of training. So if they show up, they've kind of already convinced themselves, like, I need to change my life, I need to do something. The card was a reminder of that. So if they showed up, I knew that they were going to sign up for training. So that's how powerful my little idea was. But again, number 5, just telling you what I would do. Some of these things I did. This is one of the things that I did. I made my own business/appointment cards with a little motivational quote on there to inspire them to come in. Let's get through these. Come on. I got to get out of here. I got to go work out. Number 6. So this one's tying back to number 1 about having a YouTube or a website or a social media page. This is another thing that you can do, right? This is where the idea came from. I remember thinking, and this idea, I don't know, you guys can do it at the gym. I would say even like these exercise equipment companies could do something like this. But what you could do is add a QR code to some of the fitness equipment. This is my own idea I came up with. So I didn't do this back because we didn't have QR codes when I was a trainer at a gym. But now what I would do is either get a sticker or a magnet or just kind of tape a little piece of paper on there if you don't want to like commit to it long term. But what I would do is first record all of those things, all of those tips, and either put them on a YouTube channel or a website specifically to the actual machine that they're using. And then you can use a QR code and you can scan it and it would take them. So for those of you guys that don't know how the QR code works, it's just that little square. You can make it on a free app. Usually I use, I think it's called qrmonkey.com. And all it is you take the website, whether it's a YouTube channel or your website, and you copy the URL, right? You copy the actual website up at the top of your page. And then you just put it into the app. It just has a bar there and it says, what website do you want this to go to practically? You put the website you want it to go to or the page, and then it generates a QR code, and that code will always take everyone exactly to that page no matter when they scan it. So that's how they work. So what I've thought recently, I'm like, what if a gym, or a personal trainer, I'm talking to you personal trainers, what if a personal trainer took the time to create how-to videos specifically for the machine that person is using at your gym and put a QR code where people can go and find these videos should they need advice? Now, you could do it many different ways. You can do a separate QR code per machine, or you can do separate QR codes per 10 machines, lower body, upper body, right, if you want to split like that. Or you can do one QR code that takes them to a page, and that's where all the different videos are on how to use the machine. Here's the key, though, because that's just helping them out. How do you help yourself? Well, on this page or this video, you're the one showing the tips, and this is the most important part. This is learning to market yourself, right? Learning to sell. I'm giving you advice here. Learn to always add what we call a call to action. You know what a call to action is? You guys have heard a call to action. How many times have you guys heard me say this at an end of an episode? If you guys have your own questions you want to send in, go to personaltrainerhustle.com, send in your questions. I'll answer them on an upcoming episode. That's a call to action. I gave you an episode and then I asked you to do something. I asked you to participate. That's a call to action. So, as a salesperson, you guys need to learn to make sure you add calls to action to the things that you put out. That's one of the things missing in most people's social media, most people's channels, most people's websites is as the observer, or in this case for you guys, as the listener, whatever it is that you're consuming, you guys are getting information from me. Now I can ask you to do something, and I should. That's what sales is, right? In this case, I'm not selling you something, but I am asking you to do something. Send in a question, right? And I'm giving you how to do it and why to do it. So if you decide to have these QR codes in your gym and people go to it, and again, you don't have to put it on the machine. You can put it on a wall. You can put it in the bathroom. You can put it, whatever. The point is for you to be creative with how you want to use it. But the point is, you're getting that person to see your face again, to hear your voice, to hear your explanations, to hear how much you know, to hear the mistakes that you would prevent as a coach, so they get to see you in action. They get to see how you are as a trainer. Again, hopefully you're a good trainer. If not, you're going to embarrass yourself. saying stupid things, showing the machine how to use it when it's not how you're supposed to use it, right? So again, common sense, you guys. You have to be a good trainer to be able to speak to these things. But if you feel like you're there, or your manager can help you out, or whatever, you can do it with like I said. This is the importance of also having a running mate and a friend that wants to help with these things, because they want to do well too. You can help each other out by recording each other. You can go back and forth. What you do one, I do one, you do whatever. But you can say, hey, at the end, this is the point of the QR. When they go to whatever it is that you want to land on, you give them advice. You say, this is how you use the machine. These are the 3 things that you want to do to make it do it right. These are the 3 things you want to avoid. If you want to learn how to work out, you want to get advice from a professional personal trainer, give me a call at this number, or go to our page and ask for me, or talk to management about personal training. Ask for me if you want to, however you want to do it. But what you're doing is you're pushing members to go and purchase personal training, or at least to set up a consultation to learn more about how to work out. So that would be my point number 6. Figure out how to get members to be more involved with the trainers, be more involved with you, to actually hear you talk, to actually hear you speak. Because I know when I say this, there are apps to show you how to work out. They can come up and ask you a question. This is just a good way for them to hear from you, to learn from you, to connect with you a little bit, to trust you a little bit. And then if you ask them to do another thing, because there's already rapport through that video, through that advice that you gave them, they might be more likely, right? Similar to this, I give you guys these tips, these advices. Maybe if I said, hey, do you guys want to come to a meet and greet? Do you want to come to a workshop? Do you want to come learn from me how to do this? Because you've heard me, you're going to go, well, I haven't met you and I didn't really think that I would attend, but maybe I would come, right? Or I would sign up, or I would send this question, whatever it is that is the call to action, right? Calling you to take action on the video, on the podcast, whatever it may be. It's an important lesson for you guys to learn. Add a call to action to the end of your messages. Whatever it is that you do, invite them to take another step, right? Because if not, people stare at it and it doesn't click, right? Or sometimes people just don't know. If I didn't tell you guys, hey, go to the website, send me a question, how would you know you could do it? You might think of a question, but you might not realize, oh, I have a question. Oh, he did say I could send it in. And boom, now you take an action, right? So the call to action is very important. You guys need to add those. What did I put? Number 7, this one won't take as long. I've told you guys this in previous episodes. I would go into my workouts at the gym with a prospecting mind. What that means is if you're going to be at the gym all day and you're going to get a workout in, you might as well still be alert during your workouts, or schedule 2 workouts in, one where you have your headphones on and you're zoned out, and another one where you're working out a little bit lighter and you don't have your headphones quite on as loud, or you only have one or none. Why is that? Because working out allows you to get close to the members without looking like you're trying to get close to the members. Okay? So that's number 7. You want to talk to people during your workouts because it's very disarming. When they see that you're working out and you're talking to them about advice or about how you would do curls, or helping them if they need help with an equipment or anything like that, what that does is it allows you to be close to them in the middle of the workout, and it's just more disarming. It's just like, when you see the video of the fish that like eat the fish that come by in the bottom of the ocean, and they have this little camouflage, and like the little fish doesn't know that they're there. It's kind of like that idea. It's not as gruesome, but the idea is when you work out and you know that you're looking to help someone, you know that you wouldn't mind talking to someone, you know that your mission is to talk to somebody and offer them training, then if you go into your workout with that mindset, you're going to be able to get closer to people and blend in, not with like, oh, I'm a personal trainer working the floor, but as I'm just like you, I'm a member, I'm working out. Oh, here's a tip on bicep curls. Oh, you're doing bench too? Yeah, me too. I'll get in after you. How many sets have you done? Oh, cool. Oh, man, you look like you've been working out for a lot. Does your shoulder ever hurt? Yeah, it does. Yeah, man, I've been dealing with a thing like that. But you know what I do? I usually do this routine for it if you want to boom, 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 whatever, right? This is, again, prospecting is a whole nother skill. What do you say? How do you talk to people? That's its own thing. But what I would do is make sure that I'm working out without the headphones, without the music, without being distracted in case I want to talk to someone or in case somebody wants to talk to me during my workout. Similar to that is number 8, which is cleaning the gym. I've said this in previous episodes when I talk about prospecting, but I would spend my time walking around putting things back, reorganizing, organizing, reorganizing, cleaning, putting things away. Why? Same reason as number 7. Working out without the headphones blasting and cleaning the gym and reorganizing the gym allows you to be close to members and look like you're busy, not like you're trying to hunt them down, because that's uncomfortable and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be approached out of the blue and be, picked out of the bunch, right? The last thing that you would want is to be working out in the middle of a room with 10 other people and somebody comes in and specifically points you out. But working out and, number 8, cleaning and organizing allows you to get close to people, and they see that you're being helpful. It's just a lot easier to talk to people if you're just putting things back and you're like, oh, are you finished with this? Or where are you going to use this? Or it's an easy way to start little conversations. So number 8, I would spend my time cleaning the gym as well and making sure that I talk to people while I clean the gym. Number 9, I would create a physical raffle or a guessing game of some type. There's all sorts of games that you can use. I would gamify it. So this is one of my pet peeves, and that is that people set up tables sometimes in the gym or right outside the gym. For you, I would say do it in the gym because your leads are already in the gym. If you were selling memberships, then I would say do it outside the gym because you have to remember your goal, right? If you're outside, it's because you're trying to get people inside. If you're inside, it's because you're trying to get the members from membership to personal training. So I see this a lot, and people set up tables, and a lot of them are just, take a card or, sign up for this or just standing there giving people coupons or something like that, which it's all fine and well. But I see this a lot, right? People are like, oh, get your body weight, get your body fat and things like that. But you have to think how the member thinks, right? Like, I don't want to show my fatness in front of everyone. Right? Like, I'm here because I know I'm fat. Getting the details on how fat I really am, it's not very exciting, especially with you. You're a stranger. So what am I going to do? Take my shoes off and let you touch me and let you look at how fat I am in front of everybody in the gym? So even though it might work, I've personally never seen it work, okay? I'm going to be honest with you guys. But I'm saying maybe it works because maybe you guys get people to stop when I'm not looking or when I'm not there. But anytime I've gone to any gym that sets up a table to do the body fat and the measurements, it's usually an empty table, okay? Another problem is that also it's empty, not because members are not doing it, but also because nobody's managing the table. It's just a table sitting there. So another thing that I would think about doing, I'm saying I would do them. Number 9 is I would set up a table in the gym if I could. Not too big. This is another pet peeve of mine. This is just personal preference, but I'm like, think about what you're doing. You don't need a fucking 8-foot table to set up flyers, So dress accordingly, right? If you're going to put flyers on a table, get a little 2-foot table. If you're going to put that and a body fat, maybe you need a 3-foot table. If you're going to set up boxing gloves, maybe you need a 4-foot table, right? So make it make sense. It's kind of annoying. These giant tables, you look around and it's like it's just a bunch of postcards and flyers on the car. It's just too much space that it's taking up, right? And as a member, it's like I have to walk around this stuff. It's just weird, and I have to avoid it because I don't want you to talk to me. So it gets weird. So I'm like, my personal preference is have a table that makes sense to what your project is. But what I would do is I would set up a table, nice and clean, hopefully get something to cover it up, make it look professional, and I would gamify it. Usually I have found that gamifying it makes it more fun. So creating a physical raffle would be fun. I've done raffles physically and digitally, but I would say in this case, what you want is the opportunity to talk to people and to have them do something to be involved. So what I would do is instead of saying, oh, if you want to enter the raffle, go to the website, or if you want to enter the raffle, talk to one of us, or if you want to, right, you're making it too weird. What you want is the person to do it in the moment. So, and also for you to maybe have an opportunity to chat with them or to see them, or for them to ask questions. So one simple tool that you can use is set up a raffle. And again, maybe you could talk about this with your trainer friend that you're trying to grow your business with. Maybe you can talk to your manager. Maybe you could do it between all the trainers if they are, if they want to be part of it. Some people don't. You have to respect that, right? Maybe some people are struggling. They don't want to pitch into something like this, or they already have clients. They don't need to be involved in this little kid stuff, right? Like there's all sorts of personalities. So just respect the personalities. But I would say if you want, and again, this is all, you got to talk to your manager, you got to talk to your director, because some things, there might be reasons why they don't want to do things. But on the flip side, they might want to be involved and help you and even provide you other tools. But I would say, you can go 50-50 on a pair of running shoes, right? And obviously you don't know the size of who's going to win, but maybe you can print out the shoes that you'd be giving away. And maybe, between 2 of you, 3 of you, these can be like, nice shoes that are popular, that are new. And you could do something like that, or you can give away, I don't like to give away memberships and stuff. I like physical things because memberships, people can see through it. They're like, oh, you're trying to get me to do this so that you get a whole another year of membership, or you get a referral, right? So you really have to do it to give something to somebody that wins something. What do you get though? What you get is a bunch of little tickets with phone numbers. And so what you can do is make sure that you announce the grand prize winner of whatever the prize that you come up with is. Totally free, blah, 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 blah. But what you can do is all the second place winners, you can give them something else. And now you can attach memberships and personal training sessions to it, right? So something that I would do is like, to not be so just personal training heavy, I would maybe invest in like 10 $5 jump ropes, and say, hey, you won second place, you won third place. We want to give you a jump rope and 5 training sessions with a band, right? If you want to don't do jump rope, you want to do a band, or you may want to say, hey, you're going to get one, second prize gets, 1 month of free membership and 5 training sessions and 8 membership training sessions. However you want to do it, right? I'm not here to tell you what you should give or not give away. That's up to you. I have my own personal opinions on it because there's a balance in life, right? If you give away too much, you're undervaluing. If you don't give away enough, you're just trying to win without giving something in return. So it should be very 50-50. Everyone should win something, right? Let's say they do take the training sessions and they take the shoes and they take the jump rope and they take the bands and they still don't want to train, right? You have to go into it with that mindset of going, this is just my attempt to show my services to more people, but I understand that they don't have to buy. I don't have to force them, right? Because again, I asked them to participate in something for free. I can't now turn around and try to force them to buy stuff. Nobody wants that type of stuff. That's not for me, the way that I like to do business. But you have to just think about the aggregate. If I get 20 people to take the free 5 sessions, out of those 20, at least 3 will sign up. And we'll have 3 new clients, So again, it's a lot of work to put out there, but depending on how good the trainers is, depending on how, it just depends. Maybe if you give 10 people 3 instead of 20 people 5, you can get through it faster. There's just, you got to work the numbers, right? But number 5 would do that. Just to give you guys some games, you could do the raffle. You can do a game of it. Something that we did once that I would love to do more so in a bigger gym than my gym, because our gym is private and it's a studio. So people, when they come in, we don't have memberships. That's why some of these ideas, I would prefer to do them in a gym environment, because in our gym, everyone that's there is already a personal training member. We don't have members walking around. Everyone that comes in with an appointment. But for you guys, you're trying to convert membership people to personal training people. And so having games like this gets a lot of the people that maybe haven't tried a personal trainer to try it, right? So another thing that you can add to this table, instead of worrying about their body fat, is like a guessing game, right? You just have to make sure you're accurate, right? But something that I did before that I would love you guys to do at your gym is to have make sure it's plastic in case it falls, but have a jug and fill it with marbles, and just make sure you know how many marbles are in there, right? An easy way to do that, how I did it, is I ordered the pack, and let's say it was 1,000 per pack. I would dump 2 of them in there, so I know it's 2,000, and then I would count how many I remove. It's easier to do that than count all of them. So if you're going to do that, that's just my personal advice from experience. Don't count all the ones you put in. know how many you ordered, and then deduct the amount that you're going to take out. Are you going to take out 50? Are you going to take out 100? Are you going to take out 300? Whatever that is, now you know how many are in there. But what you can do is have, again, a prize for whoever guesses it, and then you have a sheet where people can put their name, phone number, and their guess. And then you say at the end of this month, whoever guesses the number gets this prize, right? But you could say, hey, but limited to one guess per person, or if you want to do 3, whatever, right? But I would say 1 because you don't want people to just keep giving you their phone number. But yeah, 1 guess or 2 guesses or whatever, and then they can guess, and either you can say, whoever guesses it first gets the prize. You could do it like that, or you can say whoever guesses it by the end of the month. Or you can say like what we did, because nobody guessed it. We just went with whoever got the closest because we wanted to make sure somebody got a prize. So whoever got the closest, we gave them, in this case, we did shoes. I think as a secondary closest, we gave away like movie tickets. So you can do all sorts of stuff, you guys. You can do Amazon gift cards. You can do protein powder. You can do like 3 different things, and you can put them up. That's the thing. That's the cool thing about physical stuff is you can put the protein jug there and say, hey, third price gets this, first price gets this, third price gets this, and you can like pull people in. Again, this is just, it's a bit of an investment. You might not be able to start there, but it's just one of those ideas that I like. So that's number 9. I would set up a table. Just make sure somebody's always there to monitor it. Or maybe if it's a personal thing you're doing and you got the okay from the manager, then you only set it up when you're there. So you set it up, you work the table, you clean up a little bit, come back to the table, help people with the exercises, come back to the table, right? So you can kind of work it while you're there and try that technique as well. So you could do it like that. But yeah, you can do it alone. Again, all of this stuff, guys, if you guys work at a gym, just make sure you run it by whoever is in charge. You don't want to get in trouble. A lot of things, sometimes you mean well, but you might not realize that you're also causing a problem in a different way. So these are just suggestions, but talk to your managers. Sometimes they might let you know, like, I want to do that, dude, but it would cause this, and then maybe you can problem solve from there and go, okay, if we don't do that, why don't we do this? Or why don't we bring the other trainers into it? Or why don't we do evening trainers and morning trainers? Why don't we do like girls versus boys, right? Like there's just so many ways if you're creative where you can get everyone involved and having fun in your ideas when you work at a gym. But if not, do them for yourself. Just talk to your manager and say, hey, man, the other trainers don't want to do it. I don't know. They don't want to make money. I don't know what they're thinking, but I really want to do something here. So is it okay if I try it at least every Monday, at least every Friday when nobody's here, whatever, and just find a way to put yourself in a position to win, you guys, because, it's great if you can work together, but a lot of times you got to look out for yourself. When I worked at the gym, I had some people that we wanted to win. They would be down with ideas. They would help me clean the gym. And then there was other people that the last thing they wanted to do is be involved with anything the gym was doing. So, look out for yourself at the end of the day. But if other people can come with you, even better. Number 10, the last thing that I would be doing, critical. I'd be using my lunch break to read sales books because that you're going to need it, okay? So if I was starting over, I would invest as much time as possible reading sales books. Super important, okay? I'm going to give you guys 2 authors. There's so many great sales books now, you guys, but these are 2 authors that I read. Anything that Tom Hopkins wrote. This is a little bit more old school. You're not going to want to use all those techniques, but just knowing them are great. Sometimes when I do sales presentations, like I'll show people like there's like 10 different ways to do this, but I'm going to give you what I think is a better way. But I learned them. So it's good to know them, even if you're not going to use all of them. So anything on sales from Tom Hopkins. And obviously the one that I always mention, right? Jeffrey Gitomer. Jeffrey Gitomer has a book called like the Sales Bible or something like that. He has a little red book of sales or of selling or something like that. So Jeffrey Gitomer, Tom Hopkins, I would say you guys order one book and begin to do this. Since it's hard to have time to do it, everybody says, oh, I would read, but I don't have time. I don't like it, da-da-da-da. Okay, just decide I'm not going to read because I don't like it, but I am going to read when I take my lunch break. because I'm already going to sit there and eat. And you could either decide to scroll through your phone, or just, you know what, you have the rest of the day to play on your phone. You have the rest of the day to message. You have the rest of the day to TikTok. You have the rest of the day to DM. How about you just take the lunch break and you say, when I take lunch, I'm still working. I'm going to read. Okay? You guys, I'm giving you the formula. If you don't do it, that's on you. Okay? What I will ask you guys that don't want to read up on your sales, that don't want to understand programming, that don't want to try the things that we talk about, I'm going to tell you this. Please, please, please do not walk around this world telling people that you got the short end of the stick. Please stop telling people that you're somehow a victim, that for some reason you didn't get an opportunity, that for some reason you were left behind, that for some reason people just never want to help you, okay? That's all I'm going to ask. If you don't want to read, if you don't want to study, if you don't want to work hard, if you don't want to strategize, if you don't want to apply the lessons, then just stop acting like nobody ever tried to help you. It drives me crazy. I walk around this world, people, I don't know why my business never took off. And I always ask them, how many books did you read on sales, on business? What are your favorite business podcasts? What are your favorite programming books? How long did you go? Have you ever had a 12-hour workday? And it's like, no. Well, then if you've never worked 12 hours, if you've never read, if you've never listened, if you've never studied, if you've never strategized, if you've never had a mentor, if you've never had a positive thought in your life, then it's, fuck you then. Like, you fucked up. It's on you. So just stop complaining if you're not going to try things, okay? I've told you guys, read a sales book hundreds of times, it feels like at this point. If you are listening to this and you've been listening to this for a while and you still haven't gotten a sales book, you are wasting a lot of your time. I'm not saying you're not going to be successful. I'm not saying you're going to fail at training, but you are wasting a lot of time. You could be further ahead if you did. And you're going to realize it when you do it. That's what's funny. When you read it, you're going to go, oh, damn, this is kind of interesting. I didn't think about it like this. I know it because that's what happened to me. When I finally buckled, when I finally got rid of my ego that told me I knew everything about the world, when I finally put that aside and I started reading, I realized, oh, yeah, I don't know everything. Yep. I guess I needed to learn more stuff. That's all I learned. I realized, oh, the world is full of information. There's a lot of people that are experts in a lot of different areas that I'm not. And when I learned that, now it changed my perspective. I was like, okay, let me see what somebody else. And you filter it. Hopefully you have some wisdom. You know who to listen to, who not to listen to. But at the end of the day, everyone has access to information. If you can hear my voice, that means you have the internet, which means the responsibility on what you look for is on you. There is no excuse, right? You decided to look for a personal training tips podcast, so you found it. If you decide to look for information, you'll find it. You have the internet. There is no excuse to not get information. Everyone has it, no matter what you look like, no matter how tall you are, no matter where you come from. If you can hear my voice, you have the internet, which means you just haven't researched. You just haven't looked. That's all it is. You have the same tool in your hand than anyone else has. The difference is how you use your tool. How do you use your phone? How do you use the internet? Do you use it to look at stupid shit, or do you use it to look at things that are going to move you forward? But what I want you to guys take away here at the end is the decision is yours. You cannot continue to blame the world. You have the internet in your hand, which means you can access any information that you want to acquire. If you want to learn about finances, all you need to know is how to spell the word finance. If you want to learn about selling, all you need to know is how to write selling. Can you spell how to sell training? Can you spell that? If you can spell that, you can find it. So there's no excuse, you guys. There's no excuse. All right? The problem is it is going to take a little bit of time. One book, one podcast, one mentor isn't going to give you all the answers. And so we get frustrated. And we start to look for shortcuts. We start to think, I know Sam said get a job, but I don't think I need to do that. I know Sam said spend more time at the gym, but I really don't think I need to do that. I know he said I should look for a friend that also wants to succeed, but I don't think I need to do that. I know he keeps harping on these books, but I'm sure I don't need to do that. He said set up a table, but I know I don't need to do that. He said clean and organize the gym so I talk to more people, but I know I don't need to do that. And on we go. And obviously you don't need to do that. And also you don't need clients, obviously. So, yeah, if I was starting over, these are just 10 things I came up with, just minutes before we started. So thanks for inspiring the episode, Matt. Thanks for sending in the kind words to our Instagram, to taking the time to look for the gym's Instagram. I never mention it because I don't normally use it. I'm not there. And also, I don't care about the popularity and about the, look at me. I'm just here to spread a message. But that's why it's not out there. But I appreciate you looking for the gym, sending a message, Matt. This is why I do it, man, for people like you that can say, hey, I got my first job as a trainer. What you're talking about has helped me in my career. That's it, man. Just giving back here, So I appreciate you taking the time to send it. And look at what happened, right? You inspired an entire episode so we can help other trainers that might be going through a similar situation. So I don't have all the answers, and not all my ideas are great, you guys. It's up to you to think if my ideas are good enough to try. I am only talking from experience, okay? I've worked at a gym. I've started a business. I've grown a business. I've hired employees. So that's where I'm coming from. Take it for what it is. I've been there. I've done it. That's where it's coming from. You may have even greater ideas someday, and I hope that you do. There's many ways to do this, okay? I'm giving you advice, but I'm not saying this is the only way. There's many ways. You can start a channel. You can, listen to audiobooks. You can start a gym right off the bat and be the biggest gym that ever existed, right? There's no reason why not. You can buy businesses. You can start franchises. You can, open gyms in other states, in other countries, right? I always talk about one of my early mentors. He was a director for Bally Total Fitness, so he was above my manager. And now, part of his job is being in charge of opening gyms for a large company, for UFC Gym. He's involved in growing that brand even bigger and bigger and bigger. So he's not even doing sessions. He's not even managing a gym. He's overseeing these giant projects. So there's many ways to do these things. And just like he's doing that, there's also trainers that, go to the beach every morning and surf and then train their clients at the beach. There's also that. There's my gym, a private boutique studio where people come in already wanting to work with a personal trainer, one of ours specifically. So there's many ways to do it. I just have to say that because I don't want you guys to think I'm the type of person that says you have to do it this way. No, these are just advice. This is just things that I think and things that I've done and things that I think that I would do. So we take it one episode at a time, one day at a time. But I hope that something on this episode, if you are in that situation where you're just starting off, maybe you can get a leg up just by having a little bit of advice here, okay? So that's my only intention. I appreciate you guys listening. Let's practice call to action. Here we go. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have a question, make sure you go to personaltrainerhustle.com. It's set up for you to go on there, send your question in. You type it in, you hit send, I get it, I go through them, and I come up with an episode to answer your question. All right? And then every once in a while, if I want to dig a little deeper, I will reach out to you and have you be on the podcast, and we talk about your business, about your experience wherever you're starting. And so you can only win by going to personaltrainerhustle.com and send in your own personal question, whatever it may be, in your personal training career. You can find links to the website on the About section of the podcast or even inside the description of the podcast, and you can make it that easy, okay? There you go. See, you guys hear that call to action? Right? So it's all real, man. It's all real. The tips I give you, they're just stuff that you don't realize that there's rules and reasons for it, right? So that's one. It's a call to action. I want you guys to take an action. So send in a freaking question, will ya? All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.